Is Munir Ahmed with another topic of class 11. This is first chapter of literature. So I'm going to describe today this chapter. It's the Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. It has an autobiographical touch. It tells us about the life of Khushwant Singh and the relationship with grandparents. The story is narrated in first person. You know that first person means I and we in the form of I. It's narrated in the first person, but the narrator is unknown. It's not that we cannot figure out that who is the narrator. So there is no name given of narrator. The story is a memory piece, and after reading the story, the reader realizes that Singh may be exploring the theme of innocence. Look, it starts with the story starts with the description of grandparents, and he says that I'm not able to figure out whether my grandmother would have been ever young. Though she is beautiful, but young and pretty, it is hard to imagine for me because little children, they cannot imagine this very thing that their grandparents who are in their older ages, they could have been young any time. So same is the case with Khushwant Singh, or we can say the narrator. So he thinks that he is not able to figure that out. But here he explores the theme of innocence in the child, how child is innocent, and how grandparent or we can say grandmother usually over here is innocent as well. The narrator finds it hard to imagine that his grandmother may have been once young and pretty. I told you earlier, that it's very hard to imagine how an old person, for a little boy, how an old person can be young and pretty. How he ever have been young and pretty. So it was very hard for Khushwant Singh as well to imagine this very thing. The grandmother is always there for narrator and has dedicated her life to him. It happens because grandparents, they love their grandchildren so much, they dedicate their whole remaining life for them. They build them up while mother or father is away for their work, or usually they move from one place to another for official work or for any kind of work. At that very time, it's grandparents who take care of their grandchildren, and usually these grandchildren and grandparents, they are attached to each other. They have a lot of attachment. So Singh has presented her as a tender, loving, and deep attachment. So Singh has presented her as a tender, loving, and deeply religious lady who cares for all, including animals. When you go through the story, you'll see that Singh has created this character, or we can say he has portrayed his grandmother in such a way that she is tender, she's loving, she loves each and every being. She is a religious lady who always walk with beads with a rosary in her hands and turning the beads of that very rosary. She keep on just taking the name of God. So this this lady, it's not she's religious only. She does not only take care of the humans, she takes care of animals as well. Like what happens when they return from the temple, or when they go to the temple, she fed street dogs, or we can say sparrows, into the sea. So this is the kind of a thing which tells us a lot about the innocence, about the tenderness, about the religious aspect, or we can say loving nature of grandmother. Singh describes the days he spent with grandmother in the village and the change in their relationship when they were called to the city. Now look, in village there is a different kind of a relationship. Likewise, this grandmother used to go every day, accompany this Khushwant Singh. First he used to just make him ready for the school, give him food and then breakfast, and then we used to move with him while he used to study in the school. This grandmother used to spend that very time in the nearby temple. So this is a kind of a thing. This was the relation. But when they moved to the this school which was there in the city, it was not a kind of a religious education. It was different. It was science, maths, where grandmother could not help this little boy, and he used to go into school bus. So this grandmother was not able to just go with him to that very school, accompany him to the school. So it was a kind of a change in the relationship when they moved to the city. So Singh described the theme of innocence. As I already told you that here the child is very innocent, the grandmother is innocent as well. Second, friendship between grandmother and the grandchild, as I already told you, that they had a strong bond of friendship, that they used to accompany each other. Love, as they love each other. Connection between grandmother and grandchild. Kindness of grandmother and selflessness of grandmother. She never cared about herself. She always cared about the grandchild. Respect of Khushwant Singh towards his grandmother. Acceptance, and later on acceptance, because grandmother accepted later on that she will not be able to indulge in the daily activities of Khushwant Singh, and what she did, she accepted this very thing and she remained aloof and she remained away from this. Now I'll tell you summary wise what was the thing in this. First of all, there's a description of grandparents. There's a picture of grandfather, and he says that it looks like this person would have been he would have never married or what kind of thing. And he talks about this mother, that she never looked pretty. She would have never looked pretty, though she is beautiful, but she would have never been young. And this is the description which is given in the starting of the story. Then it moves to the daily routine of the school, as they Khushwant Singh is being just aroused by the mother, and she is being waked up by the mother, and during early hours of the day, and given breakfast and everything, and then made ready for the school. They usually go for the school, and over there this Khushwant Singh used to learn different religious, we can say, scripts and other books as well. And at the same time, this lady, grandmother, she used to just sit in the temple and read religious books over there. When they used to come back, they used to feed the street dogs with chapatis. Then moving to the city, it was a kind of a turning point in the life of both, of the relationship of both the mother and Khushwant Singh. As they moved to the city, they were the parent of Khushwant Singh. They were in the city, and once they were established over there, they called grandmother and Khushwant to this very city. And when this Khushwant Singh, he was given education, modern education over there. He was sent to school, and at that very time there was a change in attitude of grandmother as well. She had a thinking that music is not a learning thing for decent people. It's not good for decent people. But when Khushwant Singh was taught music in the school over there, then she began to hesitate while talking to Khushwant Singh. She began to remain confined to her room as only. Less time to interact. Now, when he grew up, when Khushwant Singh grew up, he was a young man. He went to college. Now he was given a room which was his own room. He was given a new room now, and grandmother earlier used to make him just sleep in his room, in her room only, but now he was given another room. So there was a kind of breakage in kind of relationship. So now there was a lot of change. There was less time to interact because Khushwant Singh was busy in his studies. Now after some time, Khushwant Singh thought of going abroad for studies, but he thought that maybe this is the last time I'm able to see my grandmother, because when I'll come back, she will not be able to. I'll not be able to see him, because she is at the end point of her life. Likewise, in My Mother at 66, written by Kamala Das just thinks that she'll not be able to see her mother again because she's at the verge of death. So same is the case over here. But when Khushwant Singh returning back, he is being welcomed by grandmother, and through the whole night she sang and just she played tabla, and she was a good percussionist as well. So she played tabla, and she sang songs of heroic, as if heroes were coming home after doing heroic deeds. So she sang for the whole day. Next day, when they went to her room, she was dead. And on that very day, as she was dead, she used to feed sparrows. Now in city, because there were no going out, there was no taking a walk. So she was confined to her home only. So she, in balcony, she used to feed sparrows. And on that very day, when mother of this Khushwant Singh, she threw some crumbs to these sparrows. They didn't eat. When the coffin was taken away from the home, these sparrows, without eating, just flew away. So it's a kind of an attachment which an animal has with humans if they take care of these things. So this was all in this very chapter. If there's anything I have missed, you can just point it out, and you can add up to your knowledge. You can go through the chapter and you will understand it better once you will read the story. Hope you liked this very video. Thank you very much.